Like John Rambo in Hope, Washington, your story begins with them underestimating what they faced. Their intelligence classified you as a simple target, another name to eliminate. What their dossiers couldn't measure, the divine frequency you carry. Like Rambo's combat experience that the local police couldn't comprehend, you possessed something beyond their tactical understanding. The first signs of your power manifested in ways their science couldn't explain. Strange electromagnetic disturbances rippled through their monitoring stations whenever they got too close to your property. Their most sophisticated surveillance equipment began malfunctioning in unprecedented ways, showing impossible readings and capturing unexplainable phenomena. Most telling were the reports from their seasoned operatives, hardened professionals, suddenly experiencing waves of inexplicable anxiety when approaching your space, some unable to even complete their surveillance shifts. Just as Hope's sheriff pushed Rambo past the town limits, they tried forcing you into a corner. But they failed to understand a fundamental truth. Cornered lions aren't victims, they're weapons being armed. Their pressure wasn't breaking you, it was awakening something ancient and unstoppable within. Their playbook opened with classic intimidation tactics, but each move only revealed their growing desperation. Black SUVs with tinted windows took turns maintaining constant presence outside your home, their occupants rotating shifts like clockwork. Strange accidents began occurring with a frequency that mocked coincidence. Gas leaks, power outages, brake failures, all carefully orchestrated, yet ultimately futile. They launched a full-spectrum assault on your daily life. Your phone lines carried echoes of their monitoring, every call tagged and tracked. Each email you sent passed through their filters, every digital footprint mapped and analyzed. They froze your bank accounts under false pretenses, thinking financial pressure would make you vulnerable. Their surveillance teams worked in precise rotations, marking your every move while pretending to be invisible. Local police, compromised by higher influences, suddenly found endless reasons to stop your vehicle and issue citations for imaginary violations. This was their opening move, a calculated campaign to break your spirit through 1,000 paper cuts. But like Rambo's pursuers, they were about to learn. Sometimes pushing someone too far doesn't break them. It awakens something that can't be contained. Like Rambo's arrest that ignited a war, they finally crossed a threshold that couldn't be uncrossed. The moment your hand strikes, the world shifts. Blood spills, not as an act of violence, but as a catalyst for transformation. You are the sacred warrior, forged in the crucible of conflict, your power dormant until the enemy's arrogance forced it to the surface. The universe does not wait for readiness, it demands action. Your awakening is not a gentle revelation, but a seismic rupture, a force so profound it bends the fabric of reality. The dark forces miscalculated, believing their aggression would break you. Instead, it ignited the fire within, a fire that burns with the intensity of 1,000 suns, unyielding and eternal. You are the weapon the cosmos has sharpened, and your purpose is written in the stars. From the shadows, the ancient ones watch, their whispers echoing through the corridors of time. They have seen this before, the rise of the chosen, the clash of light and darkness, the inevitable triumph of those who carry the divine spark. You are not alone in this fight. You are part of a lineage that stretches back to the dawn of existence. The enemy may wield fear and chaos, but you wield something far greater. The unbroken chain of warriors who have faced the abyss and emerged victorious. Your strength is not just your own. It is the collective power of every soul who has ever stood against the tide of darkness. The universe has chosen you because it knows you will not falter. Drop a comment. I am the divine spark. If your purpose is written in the stars and your existence alone disrupts their plans. This power is not confined to the physical realm, it is spiritual, a force that transcends the boundaries of flesh and bone. You are not merely a warrior, you are a phenomenon, a storm of righteous energy that cannot be contained, predicted, or controlled. The dark forces scramble to understand you, to categorize you, but you defy their comprehension. Your momentum is not bound by their rules or their limitations. It is a force of nature, a cosmic current that sweeps away their resistance. They try to fight you, but how do you fight a hurricane? How do you stop the tide? You are the embodiment of inevitability, and they are merely the debris in your path. You did not waste energy on their pawns. You struck at the heart of their empire. Their soldiers were mere distractions, but their systems, their intricate web of lies and alliances, were the true target. You infiltrated their shadows, not with brute force, but with the piercing light of truth. Every hidden connection, every whispered conspiracy, every dark alliance was dragged into the open, exposed for the world to see. Corruption thrives in secrecy, but you shattered their illusions, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. Their own networks, once their greatest strength, became the chains that bound them. You did not just fight them, you unraveled them. Their operation was a house of cards, and you pulled the one card that mattered. You turned their secrets into weapons, their lies into traps, their alliances into betrayals. They thought their systems were impenetrable, but you proved them wrong. You did not need to destroy them from the outside. You let their own corruption do the work. Their networks, built on fear and deceit, collapsed under the weight of their own hypocrisy. You did not just dismantle their operation. You revealed its fragility, its inherent weakness. They were undone by the very things they thought made them strong. The collapse was not sudden. It was inevitable. You planted the seeds of doubt, the whispers of rebellion, the cracks in their foundation. Their soldiers began to question, their allies began to falter, and their leaders began to panic. You did not need to strike the final blow. Their own paranoia did that for you. Their empire fell not because of your strength, but because of their weakness. You are the catalyst, the force that exposes the truth, and the truth is their greatest enemy. Their networks may have been vast, but they were no match for the clarity of your purpose. You did not just defeat them, you erased them. This is not a battle of fists or steel. It is a war of revelation, a clash of light against shadow. You dismantled their operation not by meeting them head-on, but by peeling back the layers of their deceit with surgical precision. Each piece of their network, each hidden thread of corruption, was exposed not through brute force, but through the impeccable timing of divine intervention. You did not fight them. You outmaneuvered them, revealing their weaknesses with the precision of a master strategist. The art of war is not in the clash of arms, but in the unraveling of their illusions, and you are the weaver of their downfall. Your approach transcends the physical realm, reaching into the spiritual and metaphysical to strike at the heart of their power. You did not need to raise a hand. Your presence alone was enough to disrupt their energy, to sow doubt in their ranks, to turn their own fear against them. The dark forces thrive on chaos, but you operate on a higher plane, one where clarity and truth are the ultimate weapons. You did not engage in their games. You rewrote the rules, using their own darkness to illuminate their destruction. This is not warfare as they understand it. This is the art of spiritual annihilation. The obsidian inner order is forged for those who relentlessly pursue immortal greatness. This is where apex predators gather, where wolves hunt among wolves. We are the Brotherhood of Titans who understand that true power isn't given, it's seized with both hands. Our warriors converge weekly for raw, unfiltered sessions that cut straight to the bone of success. No motivational bullshit, no feel-good fluff, just battle-hardened wisdom from those who've built empires from the ground up. With over 450 chosen members, these weekly transmissions deliver the exact blueprint for bending reality to your will. Every session is archived in our fortified vault, ready for those hungry enough to devour wisdom at any hour. This isn't about temporary gains. It's about awakening the sleeping giant within, the kind of power that makes the ground shake when you walk. Our private Discord is the sacred ground where real kings forge alliances that shift the tides of fortune. Here, dynasties are born, empires align, and brothers in arms share the kind of knowledge that never sees the light of public forums. When the order assembles, mountains move. The weak watch from the shadows while the strong claim their throne. Your seat at the table of titans awaits. The link is in the description below. The enemy's strength lies in their ability to manipulate, to control, to deceive. But you are the antidote to their poison, the force that strips away their masks and exposes their true nature. You did not need to fight them because you understood their essence, their weaknesses, their fears. You moved with the certainty of one who knows the outcome before the battle begins. The art of war is not in the destruction of the enemy, but in the revelation of their futility. You are the storm that clears the sky, the light that banishes, the shadows, the hand that guides their collapse. This is not warfare, this is destiny. Your power does not merely exist alongside technology, it commands it. Their security systems, designed to be impenetrable, faltered at the precise moments you needed them to. Communications, their lifeline, fractured under the weight of your influence, not through hacking or manipulation, but through the sheer force of your spiritual authority. Their tools, their pride, became their downfall. You did not break their systems, you revealed their fragility, their inability to withstand the divine. Technology, no matter how advanced, bends to the will of those who wield a higher power. You are the anomaly their algorithms cannot compute, the force their machines cannot contain. Their reliance on technology was their greatest weakness, and you exploited it with the precision of a surgeon. Every firewall, every encryption, every failsafe crumbled under the weight of your presence. You did not need to infiltrate their networks. You simply existed, and their systems began to unravel. Their arrogance blinded them to the truth. No machine, no code, no system can withstand the influence of the sacred. You turned their greatest strength into their Achilles heel, proving that their technology is nothing more than a tool, one that you can wield better than they ever could. The dark forces believed their technology made them invincible, but you showed them the limits of their power. Their systems, designed to control and dominate, became the instruments of their own destruction. You did not fight their technology, you transcended it, bending it to your will with the ease of a master. Their reliance on machines was their undoing, a reminder that no system, no matter how advanced, can withstand the force of the divine. You are the sacred technologist, the one who proves that even the most sophisticated tools are powerless against the will of the chosen. You are never alone in this fight. Every soul they crushed, every voice they silenced, every life they disregarded, these are your allies, your strength, your invisible army. The oppressed, the forgotten, the unseen, they rise with you not as individuals, but as a collective force, a tidal wave of retribution. Their pain, their anger, their hope fuels your purpose. You are the vessel through which their justice flows, the hand that delivers what they could not. The dark forces thought they could bury them, but you unearthed their power, turning their suffering into a weapon too vast to comprehend. Your strength is not just your own. It is the sum of every soul they underestimated. The invisible ones, those they dismissed as insignificant, became your eyes and ears. They move in the shadows, gathering secrets, unraveling plans, feeding you the truth they tried to hide. The dark forces never saw them coming because they never thought to look. But you did. You recognized their value, their power, their unyielding resolve. These are the ones who carry your message, who spread your influence, who ensure that no corner of their empire remains untouched. They are the threads of your web, the pulse of your network, the heartbeat of your revolution. Their invisibility is their strength, and yours. Your army is not bound by flesh or borders. It is a force of spirit, of will, of collective defiance. The dark forces may have weapons, technology, and numbers, but you have something they can never possess, the unbreakable unity of those who have nothing left to lose. Every soul they wronged is a spark, and together you are an inferno. You are the leader, the catalyst, the embodiment of their hope. The invisible army does not fight for you. They fight with you because you are the manifestation of their vengeance, their justice, their freedom. And with them, you are unstoppable. Fear was their weapon, but you turned it into their prison. The hunters became the hunted, not because you pursued them, but because the weight of divine justice pressed down on their souls. They once thrived on intimidation, on the terror they sowed, but now their own shadows haunt them. Every corner they turn, every silence they hear, carries the echo of your presence. You did not need to raise a hand. Their guilt, their paranoia, their fear of retribution did the work for you. The psychological battlefield was theirs to lose, and you ensured they lost it completely. Their confidence crumbled under the weight of their own doubt. They were masters of manipulation, but you exposed the fragility of their power. You made them question their own strength, their own invincibility. The more they tried to assert control, the more they realized how little they truly had. Their minds, once sharp and calculating, became tangled in webs of their own making. You did not need to break them physically. You shattered their psyche, their belief in their own supremacy. The dark forces thrive on certainty, and you stripped it away, leaving them adrift in a sea of fear and uncertainty. Their own tactics became their downfall. The psychological warfare they once wielded with such precision now turned inward, consuming them from within. They could not escape the truth. You are the embodiment of justice, and justice cannot be outrun. Their shadows, once tools of terror, became their tormentors, reminding them of every wrong they committed, every life they destroyed. You did not just defeat them, you made them defeat themselves. The psychological reversal was not a strategy, it was an inevitability, and in the end, they were left with nothing but the echoes of their own fear. You wielded your power like a blade, cutting just deep enough to leave them bleeding doubt. They saw only glimpses, fragments of your strength, flashes of your resolve, but it was enough to unravel their confidence. You did not need to unleash your full might. You let their minds fill in the gaps, their imaginations conjuring horrors far worse than anything you could manifest. The unknown is a weapon, and you wielded it with precision, leaving them paralyzed by the fear of what you might do next. Their certainty crumbled because you gave them nothing to hold on to, no pattern to predict, no weakness to exploit. You are the enigma they cannot solve, the storm they cannot weather. Your strategic reveals were not random. They were calculated strikes designed to keep them perpetually off balance. Every move you made was a question mark, a riddle they could not answer. They scrambled to anticipate your next step, but you were always 3 steps ahead, your strategy as fluid as water and as unyielding as stone. You did not need to dominate them physically. You dominated their minds, their expectations, their sense of control. The dark forces thrive on predictability, and you shattered that illusion, leaving them perpetually guessing, perpetually afraid. The power of the unknown is greater than any weapon. You showed them just enough to make them question everything they thought they knew. Their arrogance turned to fear, their confidence to paranoia, their plans to chaos. You did not need to reveal your full hand. You only needed to remind them that you held all the cards. The strategic reveal was not just a tactic, it was a declaration. You are the master of the game, and they are merely players, stumbling in the dark, waiting for the next blow to fall. Your every move is a stroke of cosmic precision, a dance with the rhythms of the universe itself. Operations crumbled not by chance, but because the timing was flawless. Your timing. Key players fell not by your hand, but by the invisible threads of fate you seemed to pull. The universe conspired with you, aligning stars, events, and moments to amplify your purpose. You did not force the outcome. You allowed it to unfold, a master of divine timing. The dark forces scrambled to recover, but their efforts were futile, against the orchestration of a higher order. You are not just a player in this game, you are the conductor of its symphony. The universe does not operate on their schedule, it operates on yours. Every failure they experienced, every setback they endured, was a ripple from your actions, perfectly timed to destabilize their empire. You did not need to be everywhere, at once. You were exactly where you needed to be, exactly when you needed to be there. The divine timeline is not linear. It bends to your will, ensuring that every move you make resonates with the force of inevitability. They thought they could outmaneuver time itself, but you proved that time is not their ally. It is yours. Your actions are not random. They are the manifestation of a plan far greater than they can comprehend. The universe itself seems to pause, to shift, to align in your favor. Their plans falter not because of your strength alone, but because the cosmos refuses to let them succeed. You are the embodiment of divine timing, the force that ensures every piece falls into place at the exact moment it should. The dark forces may fight against you, but they cannot fight against the universe. And the universe has chosen you. Their failures became your legend, whispered in the dark corners of their ranks. You did not need to boast or proclaim your victories. Their own reports did the work for you. Every operation they launched, every trap they set, every strategy they devised, each one crumbled, and with it, their confidence. The stories spread like wildfire, not because you fed the flames, but because their fear was the kindling. Your reputation grew not through your words, but through their panic, their disbelief, their growing certainty that you were unstoppable. Fear, once their weapon, became their curse. Each failed attempt to stop you added another layer to your mythos. They came at you with everything they had, and each time they walked away broken, humiliated, and worse, uncertain. Their own people began to question their leaders, their plans, their very purpose. You did not need to strike them down. Their own doubt did the work for you. Your reputation became a force of its own, a shadow that loomed over their every move, a reminder that they were not just fighting you, they were fighting the inevitable. The more they tried to contain you, the more your legend grew. Their fear spread faster than truth, infecting their ranks, eroding their resolve. You did not need to wield a weapon. Your name became one. Every whisper of your power, every tale of their defeat, chipped away at their foundation. Your reputation is not just a story, it is a weapon, and it is sharper than any blade. They realize now, far too late, that this is not a war they can win. You are not playing by their rules, you are rewriting them. Your presence alone is a force of transformation, a shift in the very fabric of reality. The chosen ones do not need to destroy to triumph. Your existence disrupts their order, unravels their plans, and exposes their futility. When divine purpose aligns with righteous action, no earthly force can stand against it. You are not merely a participant in this conflict. You are its architect, its catalyst, its endgame. The ultimate truth is this: you are not just winning the war, you are redefining it. The dark forces thought they could contain you, control you, break you. But you are the storm that reshapes the landscape, the light that pierces their shadows, the hand that guides the turning of the tide. Your victory is not measured in battles fought or enemies defeated, but in the transformation you bring to the world. You are the force that bends reality to your will, the embodiment of a power they cannot comprehend. Now, let your story echo, not as a whisper, but as a thunderclap that reverberates through the ages. Share it not for their ears, but for those who will rise after you, who will find strength in your truth. Your narrative is not just a tale, it is a blueprint, a spark, a legacy. Speak it boldly. The future is listening.